Call to order the Brushy Creek Regional Utility Authority Board meeting for Wednesday, June 24th. Time is 6:04. Call the roll. Vice President Flores.
Here.
Secretary Thompson.
Present.
Director Schaffner. Director Montgomery.
Here.
Director Kirkland.
Still here.
And I'm President Duffy. Item 3, citizen communication. Anyone signed up to speak? All right, moving on. Item 4A, consider approval of the BCRUA meeting minutes for March 25th, 2026.
I move to approve.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 5A, consider a status update from the general manager regarding phase 2 construction recovery schedule. Our favorite topic, update and planned actions. Mr. Robert.
Is my mic on? Okay. Good evening, President and Board Directors. Nice to see you all tonight, this afternoon. This is just a brief update on the Phase 2 recovery schedule. We've talked about it, pretty frequently, and I just wanted to kind of give you all the latest. And you may recall in February, we sent out the most recent of several letters to the contractor requesting that, expressing our concerns over their lack of accelerating the progress of the project and requesting them to continue to add staff and make technical corrections to the recovery schedule, which has been, although it's been better than it has been in the past, it was still deficient. And so anyway, we sent that out in February, and they responded by telling us that they have, as far as the staff goes, that they have been hiring, that they had hired some additional senior staff, but that the challenges in the very busy construction market, personnel market, has made it very hard to hire people. But they did note, and we have confirmed this true, that they have hired 5 additional senior level construction management staff in the last year. Their response to the recovery schedule was that they would provide a contract compliance schedule with their May pay application, which they did. And it projected that they are 100 days behind the contract substantial completion deadline of February 16th, 2027. Our construction management team does not agree with the 100-day estimate and believe it is much more than that, probably closer to 300 days. And that's based on various projection scenarios using their monthly pay apps that we've been tracking since the very beginning. And you can take those pay apps and project them out to basically the completion of the contract dollar amount. And you can do different scenarios and kind of I wouldn't call it the worst case scenario. I wouldn't call it, definitely not a best case scenario, but yeah, they could be closer to 300 days. And this is subject to change because, we've still got quite a bit of work to do. Now, but in regards to the updated recovery schedule, our construction management team reviewed it very thoroughly and had several meetings with their staff. And while they don't necessarily agree with the result of their conclusion that they're only 100 days behind schedule, they do feel that the technical aspects of the schedule have been corrected to the extent that they feel comfortable in moving forward and continuing to approve the pay applications. And each time they do that, they have all of their comments noted in writing and recorded as far as their belief that some of their assumptions may be a little too optimistic. So I know that's kind of like this little gray area, but so in while the project, and this is kind of the bottom line, while the project is not progressing at the rate that we would like it to. And of course, I think you'll find this with pretty many construction, especially the big construction projects, especially in this environment. While it's not progressing as fast as we would like it to, the one thing it is going well is the quality of the work. And we are making very sure that they're completing everything they do in accordance with the plan specifications. And so it is getting built right. And and if the deadline is exceeded, which we believe it will, they'll be subject to the liquidated damages, which are $18,000 a day. And I can tell you that could add up to a lot of money, depending on how late they are. And lastly, I would say that because we've had a lot of special conversations and special meetings with the contractor. We call them executive meetings to discuss their what we believe are their shortcomings. And so I would say that going forward, we're going to continue to report to the board as we have in the past. And if something changes, to where, that it gets towards really legal, then we'll call an executive session and bring our outside counsel in, which they're monitoring this. We keep them completely, Steve Sheets and myself, keep them informed on everything. And we will continue to send I call them demand letters. These letters that we send the contractor, which are very carefully written. As a matter of fact, we're working on one right now, and we're just going to continue to send those periodically, and continue to report to y'all, keep y'all up to date. That's all I have on that.
I have a question for you. Do you know if there are any other projects the contractor has been tardy on or late on, or do we know anything else that they've worked on so that we could better assess their ability to really finish on time?
Well, to answer the first part of the question is, yes, we've heard from other people.
Okay.
Not, we haven't really documented it, but we've heard they do have a history of that.
Okay.
I don't think that's any secret. But I can tell you this, that as far as things that we could do better, our construction management team and our legal team and our management team, I don't think you'll find a better, and the team we have here sitting at this dais, I don't think you'll find a better team able to manage it the best we can. Because the alternatives to, kicking a contractor off a job that's this big and this far, are pretty significant. So, but yeah, they don't have a great track record, I'll tell you that.
Thank you.
I have a question. With regards to the liquidated damages, is that from the original promised completion date, or is that from their 100-day mark that they said they're now going to be late?
Yeah, no, it's from once the substantial completion date of February 17th is reached, every calendar day after that is $18,000 a day.
Well, I appreciate you keeping us up to date on that, because it's either 100 days is late, 300 days is very late. So,
Yeah, yes.
So thank you.
And I mean, we know that, saving money or costing more money is, that we always want to be under budget. And I guess recouping money is always good. But you mentioned something during our briefing. I think you got the sense from all the, OC that even delivering late is not as catastrophic to our capacity. Would you agree to that still?
Yeah, well, so I think at this point in time, what I would say is we're not going to let up on using every means we have to cause them to comply with the contract, because they signed a contract saying they would finish it, and they signed a contract that said if they don't finish it on time, they're going to pay those liquidated damages. And so we've got to push as hard as we can. And, you know, I really don't want to give projections on what we think is okay, because none of it's okay, because it's a contract that they signed. I will tell you, if I, at this moment in time, you know, we don't have any catastrophic thoughts, but or notions, but we'll keep you, if it comes to that, we will definitely let you know, probably in a more legal and private setting.
Perfect. Anyone else? Appreciate it. All right, resolution 6A, consider a resolution approving BCRUA annual operating budget for fiscal year 2026-27, subject to the approval of the participating cities. BCRUA 2026-010.
Are you gonna operate?
I'm gonna do it, yeah.
Thank you, Kate. I appreciate that. Oh, I get to see it too. All right. Yeah, this is the FY 27 operating debt service and capital projects budget. I put some updated pictures in there because on the left, that's phase 1A, 1C, 1D complete. Basically all of phase 1 done. And you can see some of the construction around it is I didn't bring pictures for phase 2A, but there's a lot going on with that. And then on the right, of course, that's the pump station, and they're going vertical. You know, all the underground work is complete. So anyhow, so next slide, please. So yeah, I'm just going to go through the highlights right now. Because there's a lot of statistics, we'll look at those quickly. But the total operating budget for next fiscal year is $7,811,018. $7.8 million. That excludes debt service. It's an 8.8% increase over FY26, which is, I'm happy to say, it's less than the increase we had last year, because we've been catching up with deferred maintenance for the last 3 or 4 years, and so the increase is decreasing every year, which is really great. The total debt service budget is $33,364,425. It's basically a $2.5 million increase over FY26. And I can tell you that most of that is for the phase 2A SWIFT loans, and in effect, I was looking at some data earlier today that the increase last year was right around $2.5 million. So anyway, so there's that. The total water production estimate is 19.5 million gallons per day. It's an average daily estimate, and it's a 1.1 million MGD increase over last year. It's just a little under 6%. And I can tell you that, so Cedar Park and Round Rock, they did not increase their estimates for this coming year, and Leander, they had the increase. It's 1.1 MGD. You know, highlights on some of the new programs, I guess you call them, is we've got 3 new full-time equivalents: a senior operator, a senior mechanic, and a SCADA technician. And these positions are needed for several reasons. First and foremost is because of with the completion of phase 1D, that significantly increased the amount of equipment and things that we maintain and operate. It just, even though we're not adding a lot of extra treated water, all that stuff's in service. All those motors are running there. Anyhow, it's a lot. And the additional positions are getting ready. Because we're gonna have to ramp up with our employees over the next 2 and 3 years for phase 2 and phase 2A. Because once those are completed, you're gonna almost double the amount of hardware, of physical items that we operate and maintain. So anyhow, that's what those positions are for. The budgeted costs, I went back through these numbers again today, and yeah, they're on par with the last couple of years. Matter of fact, last year was $1.06, and this year, or this coming year is $1.07. So we're staying pretty good on our cost, our unit cost basis. And and I know what I said, and I didn't put a bullet point in it. You know, one of the new, we're still got a lot of maintenance projects that we're still implementing. It's a major focus for everything we do. And one of the bigger projects we've got proposed for next year is in terms of internal operations maintenance. It's called an electrical maintenance plan, and it's where you go in and I'm sorry, it's called electrical preventative maintenance plan, and it's where you really open up all your electrical boxes, you know, and it's called switch gear, because people you don't really think about, you know, that there's moving parts inside these big giant electrical boxes, but there are, and if they don't, you know, if they don't get lubricated, if they don't get cleaned, it's just like dust, for example. Anyway, all these electrical boxes we have all over the place, large and small, need to be opened up, cleaned, lubricated, and that's what that is. And it's never been done. It's actually kind of overlooked in a lot of places because it's easy to overlook. It's because nobody thinks about the electrical. And thanks to Walker Partners and some of the really smart people they have there that know about these things. And Cedar Park, I know they happen to be working on them. Round Rock's done them before. Anyhow, so we're going to do it at BCRUA. And it's called, it's like a baseline study, or baseline project. Once we've done it once, then it'll be a lot easier to schedule then. But we got some catch-up work to do. So anyhow, and we're trying to fund that with what's in the current budget. And plus, there is actually a little bit of money in the Phase 2A project that we're going to, just for some electrical stuff that we may be able to use. That's it for the highlights. If there's any questions, well, we got questions at the end. This is the Exhibit A. It's in, if you look at the budget resolution, it's just a one-page resolution, and this is the primary driving exhibit to it. And the top table there is the operating budget, the total operating budget for 2027. Then it's broken down by each city. And then likewise with the debt service budget, it's the total debt service budget broken down by each city. And then there's the total operating and debt service budget, the $41.17 million. And then the table below that is the capital projects budget, which y'all may recall last year was the first time we've done one. And so I went back to update it, and lo and behold, found out that all the numbers are still on target, especially 2A. 2A, the total project budget was $138 million, and the construction cost came in at $98 million, and we've got a $25 million contingency. So anyway, there really haven't been any changes. I made a few edits to the notes in the bottom, but the dollars have stayed the same. Next slide, please. This is just and all this information is in your packet. So if y'all, you know, and y'all got it electronically too, if y'all want to look at it, if you ever have any questions. But this is a 2-year budget comparison by category. You know, we have all the line items rolled up into, like, I think there's 9 different categories there, 3, 6, 9. And you can see basically it's not year over year, it's just a 1-year change. And so what I will tell you, the two categories with the largest dollar amount increase would be the personnel, which is $217,000, and the electricity, chemicals, and sludge, which is $341,000. And on personnel, that's kind of goes self-explanatory. It's the new positions plus the pay for performance plan money that's always in the budgets. But on electricity and chemicals, our electricity did go up. PEC raised the electricity charge to 6.46%, and which is, pretty steep. But they haven't raised it in several years, so there's that. And then chemicals and sludge. We're using more chemicals now, and we're generating more sludge because of the 1D project. And I can tell you also because with these heavy rains we've had, I know the other cities are experiencing the same thing. They've washed so many organics into the creeks that we have to use more chemicals to remove those. Anyhow, so all three of those items is what caused that. And lastly would be the little materials, tools, labs, computers, and licenses. It's got this 14.84% increase, which looks like a lot, but dollar-wise it's not. But I can tell you pretty much all of that is two software licenses that they were not being tracked. And I mean, every year we're finding new things that were not tracked. And so now we've captured them. And so next year you won't see that. Every year, and I think I've told you all this too, a couple of years ago, that we're getting this budget is getting very stable. And I can tell you, we know it like the back of our hand now, and we feel really good. I feel so much better about this budget than last year, and much better than the year before. So anyhow, there's that. That's that. Oh, and I don't know if you're curious about the additional reserve. The reason that's kind of weird is it actually went down is just because we had a much larger increase in reserve the year before because we had a large increase in flow, which made it a larger additional reserve. And so it shows up being negative, although it's not really negative. It does. Everybody's still paying, the reserve. All right, next slide, please. Oh yeah, so this is the one I'm kind of proud of because it shows it shows really numerically the downward trend that I had hoped we would achieve. It's easy to hope that, but make it happen it's a lot of work. But as you can see, looking at comparing them, there is a nice downward trend, and what that tells me is that the budget's getting more stable, and so that in the years to come, it shouldn't swing so wildly. And like I said, plus we feel so much more confident in our knowledge of everything about the budget. So, is there a last slide? Or is that tough? Oh, and then this is an individual city budget stats. I wasn't going to go through this one. This is more for y'all's information because it breaks everything down by city, so you can see what the specific impact is to your city. When from our standpoint, we look more at the total. Honestly, and it's broken down by O&M, debt service, and just the amount of water everybody takes. I think that's it.
Can you go back to the last slide? I just had a question for you. Is there a way, if it wouldn't be too much trouble, if we could also see the actual? I know you have the budget on here, but what the actual was for year to year?
The answer is yes, we can.
Okay, thank you.
And it's funny you mentioned that because and I can start, it's a lot more data to do that, but it absolutely makes sense. The only thing that's interesting about that, if you go, because there's the way we budget here, it's this in this way it's been done forever, and if y'all want to change it, we can. But it's go back to the very first stat slide. Oh, it's the Exhibit A slide. Okay, go forward. Okay, you see? Go back. You're good. There, stop. So you see that FY, that top table, that is the budget. It's approved by the board.
Right.
Yet we have the internal table, everything has, we have y'all seen the big sheet in the past? We still use that. Actually, it's been expanded dramatically. It's really nice. And I mean, it's what we look at every day, but then I rolled it up into those 9 categories so that we could look at different stats, category stats. So anyway, the answer is yes, because I think what you'll see is every year we come in, because if we went over, you would know it, because that'd be a problem in the total budget. So we've always come in over, but if you want to see it by category, I could do that too.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, Michelle Tower, our accountant, she's like, you probably ought to think about doing it. I was like, gosh, because just getting to this point with all the statistics was pretty interesting.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Anyway,
I just had one question. So, on your 27 proposed take of 19.5 MGD, right? If by chance, that's working against a capacity of what, 31 MGDs?
32.
Yeah. So if by chance, for whatever reason,
Oh, wait,
More money.
42. Yeah.
more money, more
43.
water needed to be taken, I mean, we could do that, right?
Absolutely. No, our capacity with 1D is what, 42.4 or something like that. So,
But you're
But
just basing it on the 19.5 for the budget purposes.
correct. Oh, that's right. And so all these costs, the way it works, every single line item in the big spreadsheet, every single line item is allocated, based on those percentages. Because each city, their percentage is like, let's see, go to the second to the last table, real quick. Stop right there. So, for example, the total MGD is 19, where'd it go? 19.5. So Cedar Park's share of that is at least the categories that are flow-based,
Right.
they're called the variable expenses, their share is 2 divided by 19.5. Leander's share is 11 divided by 19.5. And Roanoke's is and every line item that is a variable cost, because some of the line items are fixed, and they're based on their capacity ownership. There's basically 2 types of allocators. It's your capacity ownership. There's really 3, but there's capacity ownership in the treatment plant, capacity ownership in the phase 2 pump station, and then there's how much water you use. And so, but yeah, we have plenty of extra capacity, and anyway, I hope that helps with the allocators were created years and years ago, and that's another thing interesting about wanting to know, well, how much did we really spend? The cool thing about this whole budgeting system is if you use less water than you said you get a refund every year, because the true up at the end of your true up. But if you use more than you said you were going to use, you have to pay more. And it actually has worked pretty well.
any other questions? I move to approve the resolution as presented.
Second,
Motion and second. All those in favor?
all right,
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Call 6B, consider a resolution accepting the BCRUA quarterly investment report for January 1, 2026 through March 31, 2026, BCRUA-2026-011. Mr. Williams, welcome.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. Presenting the BCRUA Quarterly Investment Report for the period ending May 31st of this year. This report provides a snapshot of current market conditions and the performance of BCRUA's investment portfolio. The portfolio remains conservative, fully compliant with the Public Funds Investment Act and BCRUA's investment policy, and it's well positioned to support ongoing capital projects. So I'm going to give you just some real short information about our market observations. So in the immediate term and long term, interest rates jumped higher in the month of May. Inflation also moved up with increased fuel prices due to the war in Iran. Labor market is holding pattern with its no hire, no fire job posture. Instead of a 2.5% rate cut that was expected in December, future market rates now project a potential federal rate hike next year. Moving on to the labor market. So the labor market has successfully normalized, with job openings returning to pre-COVID levels and reaching equilibrium. The recent inflation rates will remain elevated to maintain economic balance. Portfolio summary. So our total portfolio value stands very strong at $171.9 million with a book value of $170.7 million. So basically, we've gained about $386,000. Local government investment pools, that's pretty much the backbone of our allocations at 68.6%, which yields a total of $116.89 million. That's about a 3.63% increase. Total earnings for the month, we generated $480,000 in interest income in the month of May. Our fiscal year to date total earnings have reached a milestone of $3.2 million. Now I want to break down some of the fund position statements for construction and escrow balances. Cedar Park holds $21.93 million in the 2021 construction fund. Leander accounts for the largest construction portion, holding $31.48 million in 2024 funds. Round Rock holds $20.5 million in the 2024 construction funds. And our escrow and operations, Cedar Park, 2021 escrow holds $15.8 million in the money market funds. Credit, quality, and risk mitigation. All extended holdings are concentrated in prime low-risk interest instruments, and they're rated at A-1. Commercial paper is AA, and AA.1 for U.S. Treasuries. This conservative structure strictly ensures absolute safety and principle for immediate cash availability for upcoming regional water project draws. In closing, this investment portfolio continues to perform as intended. It is conservative, compliant, and it's aligned with our construction cash flow needs. Any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Resolution, I move to approve as presented.
A second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item 6C, consider a resolution authorizing the president to execute supplemental contract number 19 with Walker Partners Freeze and Nichols Joint Venture for the BCRUA Phase 2 Raw Water Delivery System Project, BCRUA-2026-012. Mr. Roberts.
This item is, it is supplemental amendment number 19 to Phase 2 contract. And it's to provide, is for Walker Partners to provide engineering services for a number of owner-requested change orders that we're going to be implementing in the Phase 2 project. And I'll just real quickly, I'll just kind of go through them real quick. Because there's a lot of engineering work that has to be done to prepare these change orders, design, analysis, and a lot of coordination with the contractors, and so it's quite an effort on their part. And all of these additions we've been discussing at the OC level for quite some time, and we've kept the board briefed on most of them. But this is kind of like moving forward a little more purposeful. See, so the items are, one, the biggest item is the addition of a sixth pump. Right now we have 5 pumps designed into the project, 3 five for the main pump station, or for the pump station that delivers water to the BCRUA plant and to the Sandy Creek plant. Then there's 4 pumps that deliver water to Cedar Park. So there's really 9 pumps total. But after a lot of discussion over last, I don't know, probably a year, we've decided that we probably ought to add a little cushion to contingency to our pumping ability to pump, because these pumps, if they ever go out, it can take up to a year or more to repair them, depending on what the problem could be. So the plan is to add a 6th pump to the bigger pumps that have to pump the water to the much higher elevations to the BCRU plant, because Cedar Park's plant is right next door. And so anyway, it's the 6th pump, and right now it's around $6.5 to $7 million. I think that's the ballpark, or which actually that's a pretty good range. The next item is addition of a restroom at the pump station, and that's actually a very important item. We had all decided years ago that maybe we didn't need one, and after rethinking that, we were all like, yes, we really do need one. So we're adding that. And item 3 is it's the generator feasibility study is another supplemental condition that we did a few months back, and now this is for further engineering services to support the findings of that, or the findings that are starting to come out of that study. And once that study is completed and there's recommendations on, how many generators and what they're going to power, we'll bring that back to y'all and give you a full briefing on it. And we will have a proposal of, probably 1 or 2 options. So anyway, there'll be more to come on that, but I think it's going to be a really good addition to the project. And then number 4, I need to make a correction on it. There's some changes to the barge decommissioning. When I say barge, that's the Cedar Park and the Leander pumping barges, and I think there was some confusion. But anyhow, there's both barges are going to be decommissioned, and Cedar Park. The only thing that's different about Cedar Park is the timeline. The timeline of the decommissioning of Cedar Park's barge is going to be modified. We're not going to remove the decommissioning of it. So, and then there's just some electrical modifications in item 5. Same with item 6 is communications additions, and yeah, those are pretty much it. And if the contract's it's an hourly rate contract with a maximum cost of $332,586. Funding will come from the Phase 2 project contingency, and BCRUA staff and operating committee recommend approval of this contract amendment.
Any questions from the board? Okay. A motion for the resolution.
1 second.
All right, a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right. Item number 7. Director, closing comments. And I'll just go ahead and defer to you to do what you gotta do. And we'll all say goodnight after that.
Well, I wanted to thank Mel for coming tonight. This is his last meeting with us, and even though I think this beautiful plaque we have for you says 6 years, I think it's really 7, something like that. But, so, I mean, I don't know if y'all want to go around the horn. I was hoping we'd take some pictures when we're done, but we wanted to give you a token of sincere appreciation for all your hard work on this board.
Well, thank you very much. I've truly enjoyed my time working with this organization, with this board, and with all of the staff and the contractors that have worked on this project. It's been a massive endeavor over the last 25, 30 years, and seeing it being able to move forward and getting closer to completion will, provide all three cities with a stable water supply that'll help them achieve their maximum build outs. But you can't. Two things you need every day in this world are air and water. Everything else you can kind of work your way through, but those are requirements. And so this has been a big deal for me to participate in, and I really appreciate working with you all. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Just go down the line.
Okay. Well, thank you for your service, all your time and dedication. I know it's a lot to do, so I appreciate all the help you've given me over the years and everything you dedicated to BCRUA. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Mel, thank you for your service to the community, to this board, and I'm sure we'll see you around in a different form or fashion. But thank you, and thanks to everybody else for their work on this meeting.
Mel, I just also like to echo everyone's sentiments. It's been great having you on the board, and thank you for all the hard work. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You know all I've had to say. But, truthfully, we had some challenging times, as most of us that have been around for a while, a lot of contention with, some of our areas we had to encroach upon. And so just having you there and asking, the thoughtful questions, and you're always putting the residents first, whether it's the aim of this project or just how it was impacting everyone around us. So I appreciate all your time given to this endeavor.
Thanks.
And thank you to all y'all. And another budget passes on the board. So, okay. Thanks, Ed. And I guess we have to take a picture or something.
Absolutely.